Battle through the heavens, grand world. Chapter 257. They had arrived. Su. A green ray of light suddenly shot over. When Li Yan heard the sound of breaking through the air, cold sweat instantly flowed down his back. He hurriedly stopped his advance. Almost at the same time, the green ray of light fell in front of him, less than an inch away. When the light scattered, it was the 9 segments bamboo cane that Guyuan was holding. Sensing the power circulating on the 9-joint bamboo staff, Li Yan's face turned pale. If he had been hit by this thing, he would have died a long time ago. Arrogant. When he saw Guyuan being attacked by the two of them, when they still had time to pay attention to their surroundings, the faces of the 2 experts from the Kandri group changed. This was a direct slap to their faces. As his voice faded, one of the men struck out with a single palm. Dense origin monarch ki curled around it, carrying a crushing force as it ruthlessly smashed towards them. The other man naturally wouldn't let go of this gap. Taking advantage of the moment when Guyuan brandished the 9 segments of the bamboo cane, the sharp sword in his hand flickered with a bright light. Visible ripples swept out, causing the air to buzz. Its power was obviously not ordinary. Being pressured by the 2 emperors, Guyuan also felt some pressure. However, his many years of combat experience was extremely rich. When the 2 of them attacked one after another, Guyuan's body suddenly turned in the air, using an extremely strange movement technique. He dodged the sword ki ripples that came from the air. Although his shoulder was still hit by one of the men's palms, however, he managed to dodge the attack. Kai. Guyuan's figure was like a bolt of lightning. After dodging, he landed on the ground. The clothes on his shoulder had already been torn apart, revealing a purple color. This fellow actually used his body to resist my Python Yuan palm. Seeing Guyuan using his physical body to resist his monarch spell and only suffered a slight injury, the emperor's facial expression changed. He found it hard to believe that a monarch spirit's physical body could be this powerful. It doesn't matter. His breathing has become rapid. It's only a matter of time before I kill him. After Guyuan dodged the attack, the emperor, who was holding the long sword, swept his sharp eyes over to Guyuan and said in a cold voice. After all, he was only a monarch spirit warrior. No matter how strong he was, the origin monarch ki in his body was not enough for him to squander freely. While the 2 of them were talking in low voices, their speed was not slow at all. They continued to push forward, causing Guyuan to have no time to care about them. He could only try his best to dodge, waiting for an opportunity to counterattack. If there was only one emperor, with his strength, victory was easy, and he could even kill him. But facing 2 emperors who had a tacit understanding, even if it was him, he could only fight while retreating. Moreover, he had to pay attention to Li Yan's movements. The new students were completely scared out of their wits at that moment. With their strength, which was only at the imperial emperor or fighting emperor level, they had long been intimidated by the auras emitted by these 2 emperors. While defending against the opponents in front of him, he still needed to be distracted to pay attention to those students. At this moment, Guyuan was extremely aggrieved. Very quickly, he was at a disadvantage under the combined attacks of these 2 emperors. Xiao Yan, there seems to be someone in the east. The Xiaoao's voice sounded once again. Xiao Yan helplessly nodded his head. Along the way, he had encountered many battles. Every time, Xiao Yan would rush over in excitement. However, it wasn't Guyuan. Being attracted by all kinds of ki, Xiao Yan's speed had slowed down a lot. He had also consumed a lot of fire wing pills, causing his heart to ache. Fire wing pills were good things to protect one's life. Now, he had already consumed 3 of them before even meeting Guyuan. Even Xiao Yan gritted his teeth and swallowed them. Let's go and take a look. Although he felt sorry for the consumption of fire wing pills, Xiao Yan did not lose any chance. Immediately, the illusionary fire wings on his back vibrated. Xiao Yan had already turned into a ray of light and rushed in the direction he had sensed. Kai. Li Yan attacked with a cold smile. A student, who could not dodge in time, widened his eyes. Blood flowed out from his neck. The color in his eyes instantly turned into dead ashes. His body suddenly fell to the ground, and he no longer had any breath. Bastard. Seeing Li Yan kill another student, Guyuan's eyes turned red, and the killing intent in his heart had already soared to the sky. He had repeatedly tried to rush forward to kill Li Yan, but he was tied up by 2 emperors. There was nothing he could do about it. Guyuan, you should worry about yourself. You will be back soon to accompany them. Li Yan smiled coldly and looked at the remaining 4 students. The sneer on his face became even more intense. It had been since he was a child. He had witnessed the slaughter in Capital of Chaos, and after he became the young master of Kandri Group. He had killed countless people, and compared to him, these geniuses who had grown up under the protection of their families were like sheep waiting to be slaughtered. If they died, so be it. Let's join hands and kill him. The remaining 4 students watched their comrades die one after another in Li Yan's hands. The fury in their hearts finally ignited, suppressing the fear in their hearts. Their bodies were covered in Origin Monarch Ki as they rushed towards Li Yan. In an instant, 4 different Ki of different strengths and weaknesses came rushing at them, causing Li Yan to frown. These guys were all outstanding people from their respective families. Although they were only imperial warriors, when they joined hands, even Li Yan was extremely afraid. You want to join forces? Li Yan coldly harumphed. His rich experience in Capital of Chaos had taught him the best way to break people's hearts. Dong. Before the 4 of them could rush over, Li Yan took the first step and rushed into the middle of the 4 of them. The Origin Monarch Ki surged wildly. He used all his strength, and with a single punch, he sent the weakest of the 4 of them flying. Seeing Li Yan knock down one of them with a single punch, the remaining 3 were startled. They subconsciously withdrew their fists and stared at Li Yan with eyes that were once again filled with fear. One punch pushed back the enemy who was close to him. Guyuan's chest was also hit hard, and he was forced to take a few steps back. At this moment, Guyuan's face was somewhat pale, and the Origin Monarch Ki in his body was scarce, causing him to faintly feel a trace of exhaustion. Although Guyuan was seriously injured, his opponent was also in a sorry state. Under Guyuan's rich combat experience, the 2 of them were not as calm as before. You are only a monarch spirit now, but you are already so strong. When you break through to the Monarch Emperor in the future, the Yunluo Academy will have another monstrous genius like Muyuyang. The pain coming from his right arm caused the sword-wielding monarch to suck in a breath of cold air. He looked at Guyuan and said in a cold voice. This guy had given them a huge shock. The 2 emperors had tried their best, but they were still unable to do anything to the former. Then we must not let him go. Otherwise, it will be a disaster for Kandri Group in the future. The other emperor was shocked when he heard this. He had long heard of Muyuyang's reputation. If this guy really became an expert like Muyuyang in the future, it would be the Kandri Group's turn. Hong Long, we can't let this guy live. Both of them felt a chill in their hearts. They let out a loud shout and rushed towards Guyuan. Their killing intent soared into the sky. Guyuan gritted his teeth. With his current condition, it was impossible for him to defeat these 2 guys. However, he had to at least let them know what pain was. Guyuan clenched his fists tightly. The few Origin Monarch Ki in his body began to flow rapidly, and he was about to charge forward. Father, you can rest. Leave these 2 fellows to me. Just as Guyuan was about to attack, a faint voice suddenly sounded. Then, Guyuan's eyes flashed, and he was shocked to find that the 2 emperors who had been charging at him in an aggressive manner had been sent flying while screaming. Hi guys, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.